Here we are at the home of artist Erin Libby in Bellingham. Hello, Erin. How are you doing today?
I'm fine.
Good.
It's good to see you.
It's nice to see you too, Erin. So I've been to Erin's house before, but we'll just let everybody out there have a view of all this incredible artwork that she has all over the place.
I begin with the premise that I'm painting gaiety. Some various forms of gaiety. It's whatever these people, whomever they are, consider fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's their delight, their passion, their joy. And of course, because as actors they get out of hand a bit, and they have their own perception of how to approach fun. They occasionally have a dark side to them. There is a little bit of a contrast between the gaiety and the implementation of gaiety.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's, yeah, they're all pursuing a lovely, thrilling private interest, which I do not entirely understand. I contemplated briefly the possibility of going into the theater.
Oh.
And of course I wanted to be a Russian ballet dancer.
Oh my goodness.
I couldn't do the Russian part. So I think that the decision to skip acting and go into painting came when when I realized the Art Institute had Goodman Theater attached to it.
Ah.
So that if I changed my mind, all I had to do was go down to the basement, to the lunchroom, and through the back door. And also, I had the thrill of sitting there for lunch, and then the actors would come in, and there was one little dwarf that I liked very much, and they would be in their makeup, their costumes. So I got all the romance without necessarily having to perform myself.
Oh.
So I liked that.
Yeah.
And when I did once take an acting class at UCLA, I couldn't remember my lines, and I only had 3 of them.
So when you start a painting, does it evolve as you paint, or do you sort of have an idea of where it's going to go before you start?
I have an idea. In fact, I almost always have a sketch, even if it's very cryptic.
Okay.
I spend a lot of time sitting with a sketchbook on my lap, and I love ballpoint pen. Usually my feet curled up pretty much, and
your two buddies here?
Put a pillow on my lap to bring it up to my myopic level, and put my book here and draw. Okay. So,
okay.
And that's a period of reverie and I think some people call it zoning out. That's fair. That's fair. You could call it zoning out. I do not always know what's going to come out. It just slides out there. And then I go back, and that's much more deliberate when I come back and say, this one I'm going to make into a painting.
Okay, so we've come downstairs, and here we are in Erin's studio. And we can see painting that she's working on. And here are all of your acrylics.
Yeah.
So you do work in quite a few different mediums, right? I've seen acrylics and pastels, watercolors.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite?
Pen and ink.
Pen and ink, okay.
I've just been working on jesters and putting them, each one, in a different situation. And you had asked for landscapes not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a relation, an afterthought of the landscape that I did the last time. So here we go. And I had thought that I liked the composition. And at the time, you could see his tummy and his knee here. And so I just put this circle thing in because I felt that I needed to drop him back in the garden instead of being cut out and right on the surface of the canvas. And I use these to tell me I had it too dark. Ooh. And I just put those in to say, well, yeah, actually, I need to liven that up. Okay. So it will go in that direction. And this little guy, the crow on his hat, is for scale, and I had more of them flying over here, so I painted those out and put him over here. Oh. And so it's just a way of working. Now this one back here is
look at that.
This is not so cheerful.
Mm-hmm.
It's I'm still working with the jester.
Okay.
And I'm still working with the horse.
Mm-hmm.
But it's in a completely different situation. I don't know how dark it will be.
Okay.
Now, I don't mean value dark.
You say,
but
content-wise.
Yeah, content-wise, yeah. No blood.
Okay.
I'm not going to put any blood on it.
Do you have any favorite stories of reactions to your work from different people you've seen or collectors you've met?
Oh, well, of course, the one that came to mind wasn't a painting. I had done a little rag doll, the strangest looking little thing, and I was at the KPFK Christmas fair in Los Angeles, and this little boy came along, and the doll was low, and he went like this, and it was glued to him. It was plastered against his backbone, and there was no way on earth his parents could get that doll loose. So it was not expensive. I'm always surprised at the degree to which people who do like my work fall in love with it. And I've had the pleasure this last year particularly of meeting a lot of the people that, because sometimes in a gallery you find out that the painting has sold. You know nothing about the person who took it. Mm-hmm. But with the Whatcom Artist Studio Tour, I got a chance, and with Unclad, and sometimes at the receptions at your place, there's an interchange that goes on, and yeah, it's mind-blowing.
Mm-hmm. So. Well, it's amazing what the collector brings to the art as well, because they're bringing all, whatever's going on in their lives and their history and mood and whatever else happened to them that day, and they bring that to your paintings.
Yes, I do leave them. I do leave a doorway open for their imagination. I don't want to explain everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's and sometimes I do that with the title, especially, that it's either mostly it's just enigmatic, because the idea is that it's poetry rather than prose.
Mm-hmm. And wasn't your father a poet?
He was.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that nice?
Yeah, he was. One day I may learn to write poetry, but right now I mix poetry and dance in the paintings, because I have to have that. It's got to be moving. It's got to be full of gesture.
Mm-hmm. And your paintings they're wonderful.
Well, one has to cavort.